Hey everybody, Ed is back with some video, my face and your face. Um, so my brain has been preoccupied of late with thoughts of identity, who I am now versus before my diagnosis, and who I will be now that I've survived my first major procedure, and now that I'm a cancer survivor. Until November, I would have viewed myself as a nice guy, fun to be around. I was an artist, a designer, with a decent sense of humor. I made comics in my spare time. I was a runner. I loved sushi. I loved Star Wars. I was known for, professionally, having a good work ethic, especially since I was an independent contractor and working out of my home. I had lived in Japan and returned to tell the tale, and I felt like I had so much more to do in life. I had so much more to live for. So when I was diagnosed, not just with a gallbladder issue, but pancreatic cancer, I wasn't upset. I wasn't thrilled, but the news didn't freak me out as much as one would think. It was more like one more thing to deal with. Like if your car is rear-ended or your basement takes on water after a big storm. I did a little cussing, and then I made a plan to deal with it, And some of that could be just my laid-back nature, maybe due to me being an Aquarius. But then again, I also have a Taurus rising for all you astrology fans. And that particular sign, it's very driven, and it gets things done. So that kind of took over as far as making a plan and not just whatever, man, So a month or so later, when I was absolutely thrilled to be able to shuffle over to my local cafe to draw with a friend of mine, it finally hit me. I just told him that the survival rate for pancreatic cancer is the same across the board. 20% chance of survival over the next 5 years. He asked me, if I had just 5 years left, what would I change about my life? I'd sort of detached myself from this moment and the possibility of death. I wanted to recover and get back to my life, but did I want that same life? So just stop and be clear. This isn't a post about a big epiphany or some eureka moment where I come out of the other side and I'm going to sell you tickets to my nationwide book tour yet. But when the idea of an expiration date on my life, an expiration date of 5 years hit me, and if any of you are Blade Runner fans, you'll know what I'm talking about. The expiration date kind of had me stunned. And upon re-examination of my life before, there were things I didn't like, So why couldn't I cut out those things and the stressors that just don't serve me? Why can't I be a real artist and just do that and be successful at it? People do it all the time, right? Like I know people that do that, and I want to be one of them. So here's the reality. This kind of change isn't like shopping for a new suit. I had a general idea of who I wanted to be, but as I grew to feel better, and the more I got back into life and doing some work, the further away from that better self, that better future self, I felt I was going. So my calendar has been full of coffee and meals with friends and a new crop of freelance work, mostly design related, and that's great. But there are also like the pile of things that were put on hold from when I went into the hospital. Unanswered emails, taxes, gift illustrations, commissions, selling crap on eBay. I have to redesign my website. It's atrocious. And it all has to be done right now, because I'm late, So I guess being busy was kind of a sign of recovery, but all this just had me freaked out. And it looked like, I did get most of my old life back. But, right now it didn't look so hot. So you know how it is. We're all really good at giving advice, but not taking it. And I'm a cheerleader for change and self-improvement. But when I found myself looking at myself now, I was back on that treadmill, you know, still putting everyone else's concerns before mine. And just when I think I've got a little bit of time for my own pursuits, whether it's a big project or a little one, it's taken away by some obligation, either real or imagined. And now I have to contend for chemo fatigue and lessen mental ability. What the hell? You know? How do I break this cycle? So I'm not quite there yet. I don't have it all figured out. No one has it all figured out. The experts aren't experts, by the way. That's inside information. But anyway, here's what I got. Here's a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, be kind to yourself. Remember that you're still healing, and it's really easy to forget this, especially when you're feeling better, but it's so true. Look at it this way. If all this crap saved your life, then it looks like you've got a little more time to make these changes gradually. Okay? So, two, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. Take a little time to make a list, even though that list feels like one more flippin' thing to do. I know, I just did it. You know, writing it down helps organize your brain, and it gives you a visual aid in order to prioritize, and then you can make a plan. You know, ask yourself, do you want to change, or do you want to stay the same? That's fine. If it's the latter, hey, fantastic. Keep on keeping on, brother. But, you know, if you're looking to better your life, if you're looking to make some change, do something you've been regretting, then you need to think about who you want to be. Not just rich or happy. You know, that's great, but those are really vague concepts and too vague to be effective, you know. For example, I made a declaration about 2 months ago on all my social networks. And I said, I have decided to be an artist. And I knew that people would find it really funny and say, oh, Ed, of course you're an artist. But I disagree. Yeah, I was trained as such, but I wasn't living as an artist. You know, I thought that if I made this declaration, that it would help my destiny manifest. And it did not, at least not yet. I'm now in the process of defining who I want to be, and that way I can cut out the things that made me stressed or unhappy and embrace the things that I want, that get me closer to who I want to be, those activities and that mindset. But, you know, it's still easier said than done. Next, hey, you know what? Talk to someone. Whether it's a close friend or a judgment-free acquaintance, like a bartender, I don't know, I don't judge, or your therapist, you know, just talk with them. Making that list will organize your thoughts, okay? Just like that, talking with someone will also give you what I call an accountability partner. And it's someone you can check in with and feel responsible for reporting into. And then by talking it through, it also helps make those connections happen. It makes that change more real and more attainable in your brain. And then the last point, I would say, be kind to yourself. Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. And I reiterate this because what we're going through is enough crap for the average person to deal with, right? Now we're using it to springboard into better lives because we've caught this peak at mortality. And we've stepped it up to some greater cause, whether it's to ourselves or to serve our fellow Earth beings. So make a plan, take your time, but remember, like, it's okay to rest. You're going to knock yourself out because you got a lot going on, man. So resting is paramount. And as always, hey, I welcome your comments to my theories. And if you have any tips for me or my readers to help us attain these new life goals, I want to hear them. Let me know what's worked for you, what those changes have been, how you just used that to overcome your horrible cancer experience. I want to hear it all. I want to know. So I'll keep you posted about my progress, as well as the cancer treatment, and it's all happening here at Give Forward. So, by the way, progress is also being made on my fundraiser's big finale. So it's still untitled, but it's big, people. It's huge. And just know that the donation line is always open here at Give Forward. And I really appreciate if any of you have donated since the last post, and will keep helping me out. Still not completely out of the woods, despite feeling and looking better, but the other things are still kind of a drag. So hey, if you sat through this video, you're awesome. Thank you, and thanks for watching or reading and donating. And yeah, take care. Cheers.